Welcome to Elevate with To The Top. I'm your host, Marco Dolo of To The Top Entertainment. All our viewers, go ahead and check us out at tothetopent.com. You can also find us on all streaming platforms, YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify, everything. So I want everyone to welcome our guest, Mr. Alan the Fun Guy Davies.
What's up?
Thank you for being here with us, bro.
Thanks, man.
So, I've known you for going on about 10 years, but let our viewers know a little bit about yourself. Tell us a little bit about your early life and bring us up to speed into present day.
Sure. I'll talk a little bit about the audio engineering thing leading into being a mushroom and a fun guy. And also so doing, I'll tell you to mute your output in Pro Tools so that your echo goes away. Just you.
I like the echo.
Yeah. But yeah, my background in Nashville, what brought me here was the music industry, but I'd always kind of had that like culinary thing. Like my grandma taught me to cook. My mom always cooked for us when we were growing up, and that was like a big part of my life and kind of helped, pay the bills when the music industry didn't, because, music industry is a very passion project and I loved it, but it's very different from, being in a band in South Florida with your homies. Like I started playing music and wanted to pursue a career in music because I wanted to play music with my friends and do creative things with my friends. And I've now, through culinary and mushrooms and all that jazz, I think I've found a way to continue to do that kind of thing, but not in the music industry. So, crack that can into the mic, bro.
Get yourself some MYCOPOP at MYCOPOP.com.
This episode sponsored by MYCOPOP, Nashville's first microfunctional energy drink.
You know what I like about it? It's not super sweet. It reminds me of like a seltzer water, like, to where the sweetness kind of comes after.
Yeah.
But it's not like too intense.
Yeah, no, it's nice. We only put 7 grams of sugar in it on purpose. And it's got like real ginger juice and lemon extract, and
you do it like pure cane sugar.
It's just Florida cane sugar. It's really good. And like, I guess that's the thing too. Being from Florida, it's like when I thought about this, and this is like, I guess how I become a chef and a person. The way I like to just do things is to be very thorough and intentional. Yeah. And that's one of those things. And I learned that from being in the music industry. Like I moved here in 2010. And had this like whole idea of what I wanted it to be and how I thought it would be, and it wasn't like either of those things.
It never is, or it rarely is.
Very rarely is, and that was fine. Like we had some really cool experiences, and I met some cool people and had a lot of fun times. And made some really cool music. Like I dig back through some of these tracks sometimes, and like some of them sound like, damn. Those are some really good sounds. And then some of them I'm like,
what were we doing?
Right. Like, why were we doing
Been
that?
there. Done that.
But no, that was fun. And I like in my life now, I have an opportunity to like help my partner's daughter explore her music stuff through those skills. And so that season was purpose and I loved it. And that was 2010. And before that, I grew up in South Florida, and I had, grew up on a barrier island and in the Gulf of Mexico. And like that was very different, very privileged, and very cool, but it made me appreciate the environment. And once I left the music industry and became a chef, the things that I started caring about more and more were the things that I cared about growing up. It's like that fish on the table gave its life for our guests and us to benefit from it, for us to make money and it to nourish their bodies. And, hey, if we get lucky and throw some of it in family meal, us too. That was important to me because I grew up seeing red tide on an island, because of freaking pollution, killing all the fucking fish, and because it's algae bloom and deoxygenation of the water column. It's
and then you see the industry.
Yeah, I couldn't you can't unsee that. That's like core memory to who I am, So yeah, when that informed a lot of why I am where I am now, and that working with the people that I am working with now, and what's important to me now is just trying to be like sustainable and responsible with like what we're doing as we can, and still be beneficial and like economically sustainable at the same time. Like because both of those things are important to acknowledge, and hanging out and getting the esteemed privilege to work with William Padilla Brown and learn from him and be inspired by him, and then now continue to collaborate, like really being intentional about those types of things is very important to me. So like, yeah, the way I got here was just by probably not settling for anything that I knew wasn't for me, and
Yeah.
being really unapologetic about it. And it's been hard, and it's like tough decisions and, mistakes of how to go about things. But like, I definitely know I'm like, okay, if I like make sure I'm doing these things, well, the rest will figure itself out. So yeah, I got here by via the music industry, and then becoming a chef, and then like
So let me
fermentation and mushrooms. It's a weird squiggly thing. Where do you want to start?
Okay. What I want to ask is, what type of music were you making?
Okay, lots of cool stuff. I like was in a band when I first moved here, and it was just kind of like probably very unserious, you know, power pop punk band. It was fun,
Okay.
cool music. Nothing
A lot
really.
of up tempo.
Yeah, and it was like I was learning and exploring what it meant to be a musician and
Of course.
perform, and I liked it, but I mean, I just liked facilitating more than playing and being the center of attention.
Well, and it's funny you say that because, 2020, I started record label to
Yeah.
the top, which, 5 years going in, and it's like a lot of mistakes have been made, and you kind of learn that, like, and it puts me in a hard position that I put myself in because I am an artist
Yeah.
and a producer and a CEO. So there's a lot of hats that I'm wearing, and sometimes like it's hard to like I've been working with a couple people. Shout out my boy Smallwood. We've been working on this little project, and he's very adamant about like, let's get you out of your home studio, and let's go to another studio and work with some more people so you can focus more on being like an artist. So, saying that, like falling in love with facilitating, because yeah, producing the art is a great thing, but being able to like sit back and in a producer sense facilitate the climate or the setting for these other people to come in and do what they do is a great feeling.
Yeah, and it's so funny that you describe it like that. I love it. It's like you're a chef too, and like me too, and like I've found the crossing of those skill sets into ways of creating experiences for people. And really, the whatever business you're in, whatever industry you're in, I wholeheartedly believe in the future. It's like it's not going to just be about a product. Not even that. It's not going to be about. It's going to be about
the
what
memory associated.
Yeah, and what being like what they associate that with, and what it means to them. It's an experience, something that's more than just like.
That's like I work in country clubs, and when you get a member who's like they really want a hamburger, but you're a higher end place, and you're making filet mignon and ribeyes and like all this, you can get duck or whatever, but they or a hot dog or whatever.
Yeah.
And you happen to prepare it for them when they want it and bring it to them, and they're like, that's the best hot dog I've ever had in my life. And it's not because of the hot dog. It's because of like how you catered to that person, made them feel special.
Yeah.
And then you never know, these people, like especially in the work I'm in, you never know who these people are.
Yeah.
And they might come through and be like, hey, here's a check for $1,000. Not saying that I got that. I know somebody has before.
Yeah. But no, that's a way of them showing appreciation for something that you did for them, that gave them an experience that made their reality more enjoyable. Because like, man, I never gonna forget, somebody told me it's like everybody experiences reality differently.
So true.
Like, what have you been through? What's your lens? What's your focus? How have you gotten here? That all affects how you perceive reality. And reality is subjective as well, based on the observer and the perceiver. And like, we're in a business where it's like, and especially with mushrooms, and especially in culinary, in any sort of service job, even being a producer is a service job. Yeah, you serve your client, and help create an experience that is fruitful for them. And like, that's what and how I think I've tried, sometimes failing. Honestly, I like to say fuck up. Like, like when you fuck up, like as growing out of it, learning from it, moving on, going higher, instead of letting it keep you down. And that's hard to live by, because when things suck, they suck. But when things are great, they're great.
And I think that like that's what's hard about doing music for a living, or like even trying to be in that sort of industry, is it's very like touch and go.
Mm-hmm.
And you had to have like a love for it.
Yeah.
Because and even like when catering to these artists, and I realize this as an artist myself, we are some of the most like hardest people to please. Like we're very not all artists, but a lot of artists are like very demanding, and it's because they see a certain vision.
Yeah.
And some people just can't like deviate from that vision that they have.
Yeah.
So it's like a hard disconnect, like, especially as an engineer when I'm working with somebody, and, I tend to be a little bit more old fashioned, like when it comes to recording concepts. Like if I'm going to use delay, I'm going to use a little bit of delay.
Yeah.
Or like if I'm going to use reverb, like tasteful amount, or like, I stick to like EQ and compression. I try not to like
very simple and modest.
Yeah. And just accentuate the parts that I want to, and take away parts that I don't. Not to say that like, I don't dive into that other realm, but like, when I'm engineering for somebody else, I try not to like put my own flair on it, because
you try to make a canvas, not a interpretation.
Yeah, I'm just helping them. Exactly. I'm holding the canvas for them.
Yeah.
I may be rotating it a little bit this way, or like guiding them, but it's been a hard process of not like, don't do it like that, do it like this. Because, I would say the way that I do music, I came up playing guitar and bass and saxophone, so I'm a little bit more on like the technical and rhythmic side.
Yeah.
But, especially working with people in hip hop, a lot of rappers, like, they have rhythm, but they don't come from that background of like learning.
They don't have a traditional like musical instruction background. They're just learning it.
Yeah, they might know
in life.
They can probably tell you where like the 2 and the 4 is.
Yeah.
In a beat, but like other than that, if you talk about a time signature, they don't.
Yeah. I mean, I only even have I'm like a very poorly educated musician. I like barely got by. Like I learned the national number system, and I kind of can read music, but I definitely can't sight read.
Well, yeah.
And you just work with what you've got. Like I think that's kind of like I would work with some people sometimes too when I would record who it's like we just weren't in sync, and that can be a challenge. But like learning to like, this is like this is the mushrooms talking, like learning to like let the ego die some more, like in certain areas, because it's like I feel this like need, and I don't know, let me think of how to say it, like learning where the application is. Like some places it's beneficial to kill your ego, and other places is it as beneficial, like, and learning the application of like like what do they say in Christianity? Like dying to oneself, like serving letting the things in the life that you lead be more important than yourself, and your effect on the world, be, like I am second. That concept of like
subservient to the
like
world.
thinking of everybody else, and being empathetic and understanding. And it's like I feel like I was such a bad Christian because like I read the Bible and it was like people suck, God is good, and I'm like, but yeah, people are also really great too, and learning to like appreciate everyone for wherever they're at is so new, and like
it's a miracle that we're all still here.
Yeah.
We're
all so different.
Think about how like violent nature is. Nature is not like calm. Dude, okay. You've seen the cat.
Yeah.
Clem.
Yeah.
Dude, he's cool, chilling in the house. Let him go outside. 30 seconds, there's a bird in his mouth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's just like, that's going on everywhere.
Yeah.
So.
No, our cat too, Lo Mein. I call him El Matador. But se matan las, I don't know how to fucking say bird in Spanish. Pájaros. Parrots. He like kills robins.
Yeah.
He's a predator, man, but he's a cute little cuddly thing, and the world's a heavy, crazy place.
And I think us as people in society, like we're so, like we forget that in the 1900s, the leading cause of death was like dysentery.
Yeah.
Like complications with
like the first half of the last century, like like,
and now it's like, oh, we're the leading cause of death is we eat too much.
Yeah.
Or like we eat
heart
too
disease.
much, like we're pumping bullshit into our body.
Yeah, like what, heart disease and cancer, pretty much.
Yeah, and alcohol related deaths, like liver, cirrhosis of the liver and stuff like that. It's all just like over moderate things, like things that we can control, but as a society, like there is no importance on controlling that. It's the opposite.
It shifted, and it's like talking about you talk about when the veil is lifted, right? You understand that concept, like in the biblical sense, like
you may have lost me, but
well, I mean, like when you see something for what it truly is.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Once you see something, you can't unsee it, and knowing those things and still having empathy for the world that we exist in is like, that's what life's about. And whether it's business, whether it's like how I try to live my life and be a better person, man, I got to be talking about that. And it's like, yeah,
and
life's wild.
Even to go further into that, like I know, like my dad died of a heart attack.
Yeah.
His dad died of a heart attack. But I still love to eat cheeseburgers and fucking eat ice cream and like all that. And like, I swear it's my drug problem.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I quit smoking weed, quit drinking. I don't really drink no more. And like, for like 10, 12 years after, 10 years after high school, I was drinking almost every day, but like, gave that up. Not really a problem. Can give up cigarettes, but dude, give up like a slice of cheese or like, bro, it's so hard.
It's so real, bro. And it's
bread.
Freaking
Jesus.
You said it. It's designed that way. It's like chemically altered to be addictive. And like our food system, like, say what you will about RFK, and he's said some things about, stuff that I don't super agree with, but the calling out of the brokenness of our food system cannot be ignored. And like the way that people have decided to live or been forced to live by whatever, varying reasons and difficulties. Like we food deserts and places where people's only access to nutrition is food that is made of ingredients that is poisonous to them. Like, I'll never forget when Will Padilla Brown told me, man, he was like, you know that all the grains in this country, I'm pretty sure all the wheat,
Folic
possibly the
acid.
corn, is one, they're sprayed with glyphosate, which is Roundup.
Yeah.
And then they're desiccated with glyphosate. That's how it kills the plant. So that is in so much of our food. And
well, and then
it's
not
just,
to mention like all the wheat
yeah,
is fortified with folic acid,
Yeah.
which is not like a natural
enriched flour. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's like you can't get away from it. If you do, it's in short supply, it's expensive.
Mm-hmm.
You
You have to import it from not the United States.
Yeah, because anything in the United States, even if you grow it 1 year,
Mm-hmm.
the next year there's a possibility that it's, been impregnated with Monsanto pollen and DNA or,
Yeah, it's
DuPont
it's
DNA.
I mean, damn, will I say it's like low-key legal eco-terrorism? Yeah. The CIA is a legal terrorist organization too. Like, they're just powerful. Oh, they already know. That's all, dude. It's an illusion. It's all an illusion. Like,
what's crazy?
It's our reality, but like
The CIA can't go after American citizens.
No, it's the NSA.
No, it's the FBI.
It's the FBI. It's the TBI. It's whoever. I'm a small fish. Like,
Or fish food, as I like.
Yeah. But like, it's wild, dude. Like the whole mushroom thing and the food waste thing. It's just like I started seeing things that I couldn't unsee, and it changed my reality. And ever since then, everything I learn and everything I see, I don't want to unsee, the good and the bad, because it helps me understand my reality better and helps me understand better how to exist in it. And my existence be a net positive for everybody that I come in contact with. And I'll fail the fuck out of that. I will probably have at least a 50% fail rate of being a net positive on my environment and my interactions with people, because I'm a person and I'll fuck up. But man, if I ain't gonna try to be 10%, like, that's why I want to do it. Anything I do, like making sure that people are putting good stuff in their body and not throwing food away that can nourish them and heal their bodies. Like, I quit drinking and I freaking try to eat right, and it helped me. Like,
Imagine that.
Imagine. But I still got to take care of my body, and I got to put, this reality is hard. This reality is hard sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said it best. So, going back to mushrooms, do you know the exact, I'm not going to say time and date, but the instance where you just dove deep into this is what I'm going to learn about, and this is what I'm going to.
Oh, the first opportunity I had was when I first was introduced to cultivating and mushrooms of all things. Yeah, it was in very definitive time, actually, which would have been the conversation started end of 2019, and then I started the job in February of 2020, and then the world shut down. And then it was me and my supervisor and another guy. And then eventually it was me and my buddy Johnny Johnston and our buddy Dakota. And we were growing, by the end of 2021, we were on average growing anywhere between 500 to 1,000 pounds of mushrooms a week, like oysters, lion's mane, shiitake, mostly.
What was the per pound price?
They were selling for way less than we should have been, but we were selling.
That's kind of what you got to do to.
Yeah, we were selling for $8 a pound, but I sell mushrooms for up to $15 a pound now.
Yeah.
I middleman, and I.
Well, and especially the market of Nashville and surrounding, it used to be, there was only a few purveyors,
Mm-hmm.
and you could only get certain products. Now you can get anything you want if you know the right person.
Yeah, it has become about the right person. And where were you? That's what I said. Like, I started off with Fungus Ranch, so it's like it started in end of 2019, early 2020, and then I left Cheeky Greens, um, and went to start my own business basically, and I grew like 50 to 60 pounds a week in my garage,
Right.
you know, and I was doing that for a while, and then I took that and then like doubled the revenue the next year by adding on like brokering mushroom sales. Like I worked with other local farms to like when I was stuff that I couldn't grow or wasn't growing or didn't have enough to grow, I try to be like, hey, can I buy these from you? I need them for a client. Then I mark it up. The middleman job became essential because running a mushroom farm's hard, man. Like mushroom growing is great when it's not your company. At least that's my perspective. Like a lot of people really like run mushroom farms and they run them really well, but it's really dependent on your size, how many people you got, having the right people and getting your cost structure and your base right. And like if you if you don't have efficiencies or you're too big or you're too small, it's like you got to really like dial it in and have your stuff like
To scale.
yeah, to scale with you really got to focus on your out like who are your customers, who are you selling it to? Like you don't want to front load a mushroom industry like company. You want to like go with it because otherwise it's just a huge upfront investment and it can cost millions upon hundreds of millions of dollars if you like don't set it up right and you just jump in at scales. It's an interesting thing, and I learned a lot in my time in that sphere, and I liked it. But it was really physically demanding, and it had its challenges. And I've pivoted really to the brokering stuff. I don't really like that as a ethical position in the market, but it's the platform for this.
Yeah.
Like this became more important. And
Well, and that like sometimes to get where you want to get, you gotta like sacrifice some small
Yeah.
things. And at least in that brokering position, you're making all these connections and contacts to where now probably through brokerage, and I'm assuming this is what you do, you've made a contact where you're getting all this waste of mushroom product and using it.
well, I just try to like educate people about it, man. It's good for lots of reasons because it's main like one, the job is to be the last thing my chefs and my clients worry about. Like my pitch is like, man, I can get really high quality mushrooms that have good shelf life. They're organic. It's a good farm. It's a good company. I like the product a lot as a chef, and I can get it to you at a fair price.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna take care of you. Like if you need shit or it's too much, like that's fine. It's like I'm here to take care of you. Like, and I'm gonna be the lowest worry on your list. And like as a chef, I know I appreciated that, and that's what I've tried to do. Is like I've tried to look at what we do with Fungus Ranch not as just a springboard for MYCOPOP, but also as like a way of like I can kind of take care of my homies who took care of me. Like
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of clients. We have a very small client base, but like I would talk with people who like need good stuff and I try to help them out. And and if I make a little money along the way doing that, that's cool. It's like I've got a full-time job and I enjoy it. And it does what it's supposed to do. And that's cool. Like so this is about trying to get good stuff into people's bodies in a way that they understand. And then hopefully it's a gateway to like wanting to learn more about mushrooms and wanting to think about things differently than the programming that's been, beaten into them or digitized into them or whatever that they've experienced their whole life, changing the way they think about mushrooms. And mycophobia is very high and people don't understand them, but like it's an energy drink. And then the next, you're thinking about how can I be more kind to my neighbor and how can I be a little less wasteful? Maybe I don't need that thing, because like learning about lion's mane and growing lion's mane and seeing how mushrooms grew made me appreciate life more and like fruitfulness and seasons of working and sowing and then reaping. And I think my life keeps going like that. I'm going to keep speaking that into existence, but that's how life works. And it led me down this path of like, microdosing psychedelic mushrooms, and small amounts. Never really like. I mean, the most I've ever taken is a gram, and that's all I needed.
That's a fun afternoon.
Yeah, I just got on my bike and rode to the sunset and watched the sun go down and cried a little bit and appreciated all the wonderful things like Sarah Beth and Charlotte and my family that are wonderful things in my life, and my friends and my mom that's still alive, and that my grandfather lived a good life and took care of us. And this was wonderful and good thing. And then there's so much science behind it now too about how beneficial it is for every type of mental health ailment. And there's a study I recently read that it's like ideations of self-worthlessness were considerably less present in when looking inward in oneself on people who microdose psilocybin and people who did not.
So what would you say is like a adequate microdose?
I mean, 100 milligrams.
100.
Yeah.
So what would that be like a gram?
No, like there are 1,000 milligrams in 1 gram.
My math is
no, I also do, dude.
Numbers.
I gram everything, like because of my background in fermentation. It's all like baker's percentages, like you work on,
okay,
and that just keeps everything safe. And then you can bulk stuff. Like when I'm making, 35 gallons of umami sauce. Like,
dude, I should know this. I'm a chef, but
Yeah.
my brain is just like numbers right now.
It's okay.
Too much going on.
Yeah. But yeah, and it's like it's nice that type of thing works very well in the milligram range because you can be precise. And I mean, some people will be like, a cube is a cube is a cube.
Oh,
but like,
so like a tenth of a
1/100th of a gram.
Yeah.
Like a milligram is 1/1000th of a gram. Yes. Don't quote me on this. I know how it works on paper. But yeah, I take 100 milligrams with lion's mane and cordyceps every day. I take lion's mane and cordyceps every day with some reishi as well. And a tincture. And then I've done seasons of like microdosing, like what? There's the Fadiman protocol, which is a certain way, and then there's the Stamets protocol.
I was speaking on psychedelic.
Yeah, I'm talking about that too. Like, and the way Paul Stamets says to do it is take lion's mane with 100 milligrams of lion's mane, 100 milligrams of psilocybe cubensis, and niacin together. And the niacin is meant to be an anti-abusive, so it's like if you take like 5 of them, you're gonna have like a buttload of niacin in you, and you're gonna, and like all vasodilated and creepy. Yeah, but it helps with the distribution of the circulation of the material in your body, so you have a uniform experience more quick. Yeah, so it's very smart, and that's like a 4-day on, 3-day off. And then I'm not sure what Fadiman is. He's another psychedelic scientist, which I have to learn more about that place because I'm just begun tipping my toes into the like really doing that. I've only ever really cultivated gourmet mushrooms. But yeah, for my experience of it, it helped in a lot of things. Definitely with like the way I think about myself, and that's where I want to work on the most. And it also like it also made me see the things that I needed to see to be able to be strong enough to see them, if that makes sense.
I get what you're putting down. Let me ask you this, and correct me if I'm wrong. But growing gourmet mushrooms is very similar to growing psychedelic mushrooms.
Yes. Actually, well, I don't think it's fair to say growing psychedelic mushrooms is easier than growing gourmet mushrooms. I've heard some people say that because like the contamination factor isn't quite as high with most cubensis species.
Is it just like the DNA is?
They just are a faster moving culture. Like for instance, like just like to think about the lifespan of a culture, right? Okay, you've got something like a basic oyster mushroom. Like I put an oyster spawn, which is a little grain that's colonized with the fungus. Most of the time it's millet, probably about a cup in a bag that's about 12 cups of pasteurized stuff put in there. It takes like 2 to 4 weeks to colonize the whole thing, and then it takes another week or so in the chamber to fruit. And like, but you got to be really, really clean with that because it takes a longer time and contamination can take hold. But then the other side of that, like, and then like lion's mane takes double that time, and then maitake takes like another double time. So it's like one, those cultures just take more time and don't move as fast. Like literally, physically, in the reality, do not colonize as fast. And there are things you can do to manipulate that. And the same thing you can do with growing psychedelic mushrooms. But most psychedelic mushrooms grow on manure and other like byproducts. But most of the time, people grow them on manure.
Yeah.
And the way you can pasteurize that is just from my understanding. I've never actually cultivated psychedelic mushrooms successfully. I just never. We're also in Tennessee, so I didn't want to like be trying to do that, and also running a legitimate business. But I have plenty of good friends who are in the decriminalized zones in like California and Denver, and I've gotten to learn a lot from them, like just asking them questions about kind of how it is. But it's basically similar processes. You're growing the fungus on a grain that's like, think of that as like the seed, but fungi don't have seeds, they have spores. But the spores germinate into the fungus that can then turn into hyphae and mycelium, which then colonize the substrate. Koji is the same way. It's a myceliating fungus, but it takes 48 hours and it's completely colonized, steamed rice. And it's so vigorous that as long as you're basically sanitary, not even sterile, you're not going to contaminate your batch. Whereas like you've got to be more on the sterile side for cultivating gourmet mushrooms. And then like you can be a little less sterile with
you could use
psychedelic
like a potato
mushrooms
to make some psychedelic mushrooms.
Yeah,
like just some starchy
nutrient. It requires some nutrient. And
Okay.
most of the time people use grain just because they're in a hull and they are it's more stable than other, you could. Yeah. I mean, I've grown koji on potato skins and black lentils. And then like I peeled all the potato skins and dehydrated them and then rehydrated them in when I cooked the lentils, and then so that makes them sterile, or at least sanitizes them as they're cooked. You're steaming them, so it's it's food safe. Yeah, and then you introduce the spore at that specific once it gets to 85 degrees, and then you wrap it up in a clean towel and put it in a clean chamber and incubated it. 85 degrees Fahrenheit, 85% humidity for 48 hours, stirring every 12 hours. Mushrooms are very different from that. You do it in sterile bags, but again, it's all in a very industrialized system and everything's very standardized. But there's lots also, it's cool, be like similar to the cannabis industry, like there's all these crazy names for these strains that, or come from nerds in their, mom's basement growing them in shoe boxes, back to like the 60s and stuff, So the names are weird, but it's like there's a lot of good research going on about it now that is normalizing it, and it helpful for veterans and lots of things. It's really cool to see. And from a positive perspective, yeah, that's awesome. I get really excited to see that it's becoming more normalized in culture, because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to normalize this stuff so it can help more people.
Yeah. I'm a fan of mushrooms all around.
Yeah, bro.
Honestly, I can't really, I won't say can't, but I don't take psychedelic mushrooms that much anymore. Just because as I've grown older, the effects I get in the body, and then maybe it's because I'm taking too much, but even like I remember last time, I think I took like 2 grams or like 1.5 grams.
That's a lot.
Is that?
I mean, to just do that and not have created a safe place for yourself and like giving yourself
I was in a safe place, but it's like the body stuff, like
I mean, I just
upset stomach and feeling like kind of
eating the mushrooms like that. It's about administration as well. I mean,
and that's why I usually try to do like a smoothie or
there are some good products that I can turn you on to.
Okay.
That administer a lot nicer. There's a lot of great companies that I can link you into that are like they make really good products in the extract space, and they I consume them semi regularly and offer them to people who need help and plug them in with my friend. And like, it's good. He does a great extraction process. There's plenty of people. It's tough because Instagram is like, in Meta in general, are just like really cracking down hard on the content side of the mycology industry and what you're saying. And the AIs are like not very well trained and but again, this is like, I just talk with them through the DMs, and like learning to navigate that has also been interesting because we run a mushroom brand that's 100% legal product. But like I want to learn from these guys, and there's also like a place for us to try to build a voice in that space. That's what we want to do. We want to create a trusted brand and source for quality American grown mushroom products of all kinds that are available to everybody everywhere, and they can actually help you. They can help you with experience reality better. And I mean, MYCOPOP on its own does that. It just makes you feel good. But like, man, I'd love to see a psychedelic soda someday, man. For somebody who like just wants to like go on a hike, it would be great. But it's not just like a great fun time. It's also something that's medicine and can help you. And like some of the best times, and I think that's why this year has been challenging, is I haven't gotten in the woods enough. And like, I feel like Will would agree with me too. He was in LA, and I feel so deeply for him of how like I can tell like in the conversations we've had, it was hard on him. And I think this year was hard on a lot of people. But I know being in the woods as much was not helping me. And like, so the thought of being able to help facilitate like an experience, like this reality, we have a way to help. There are ways, like God gave us ways to like help us. The nature heals us. Like the Amazon rainforest is basically a giant food forest that went unmanaged for millennia.
Dude, that's a crazy story in itself.
So. Like, I don't know enough about it, but like you look at the concentration. I know that nature is simple, and I understand nature. Like that was the one thing that, like growing up on an island, I grew up seeing nature. It was a huge privilege, and it's like nature makes sense. And like you look at the Amazon, it's the highest concentration of food-bearing trees in the entire world.
Yep.
That doesn't just happen.
Well, and here's what I was about to say was, I don't want to be like a YouTube scientist, but I've seen a lot of
YouTube scientist, copyright to the top productions.
Yes, sir. Coming this summer, 2025.
YouTube scientist.
Starring Alan Davies as Margot Dolo.
Oh my God. Continue with what you were saying. I'm sorry.
Shit. What were we just talking about?
Reality.
Oh, okay. The rainforest.
Yeah, the
Amazon rainforest. So apparently, they've been doing a lot of LiDAR.
Yeah.
In the area, and what it appears to these scientists and these archaeologists, it looks like. Okay, so a lot of these fruit-bearing trees and things aren't native to that area of South America, or even South America,
they're only in the Amazon. Yeah, they're only there.
Yeah, but they're not native to, you know what I'm saying? So there's a theory that people came and populated the Amazon rainforest and were basically growing all these things that were brought from, other areas.
Oh, there's a whole what happened pre-conquistador era in this section of the world, we may never actually really know.
Yeah, dude.
Like we're only going to know a segment, man. Like what they're finding, like I think what you're saying is like they're looking at the LiDAR and they're seeing all of these like structures, and like it was a whole largely technological civilization, but that by the time the conquistadors and the Spanish got here, there had been some sort of like disconnect from a larger cultural anchor that devolved into like they had all this technology, but they were like not like it wasn't operating as well as it should have. And
either they
because like
died or they picked up
or there was some sort of cataclysm event or conquering event or the dissolution of an empire into more of a period of unrest.
We're going north into Mexico.
Or collapse of society some way. Yeah, it's like I know so little about this, but like having learned more about like how the depth of the culture that goes back there, and like the understanding the horrors of what humanity must have been in that time when you could just write whatever history you wanted about what you did and what you found. And like, we'll never really know because the people who could tell us the truth are all dead.
Yep.
And like, what, like, but the physical evidence there is something way more advanced than we were taught in school, and way more advanced than what was going on in Europe at the time.
Yep. And that's so one scientist, I don't know his name, but he was saying what it appears to him is they found like basically like a mound.
Yeah.
You know, and it looked like the way all the structures, because there was like several mounds around this bigger mound, which they didn't know until they hit it with LiDAR in the area, and then they excavated it. And what it looks like is a general, like basically a grand bazaar.
Yeah.
To where everybody in that area would come, and it was like a huge marketplace, and there was like, you know, the bigger one, and then there was all the smaller ones around.
Yeah. No, they're just finding cities buried and overgrown by the Amazon.
Yeah, so it's like,
and like the theory, I think it's that was even prior to the era of the conquistadors.
Oh yeah, or yeah, because dude, could you imagine stepping off? First of all, traveling that many miles by ship to land on the shores of South America and Brazil, and like, you know, that like even the wildlife you would see,
it would be another planet to you.
Exactly.
The
plants you would see,
their perception of reality was so small, and like they went and saw it and they just thought, how can I take advantage of this?
And like even being from Spain, because Spain's like, you know, a moderate tropical, you know.
Yeah, because of the Gulf Stream. But way beyond what they ever. Yeah. And people, like, again, the history of like how many people came to North and South America before that era, like, is altered. Like there were people over here who regularly came here from Europe and didn't colonize it. That, like, I know that's a hot button thing to say, but like, yeah, dude, that happened. Like, it happened. It was an era of unregulated and unchecked power of the British over pretty much the entire world. People forget that. It was England, bro. You see that map of like everywhere on Earth that wasn't colonized by England, and there's like 3 little white dots, and the rest of the map is red because it's like everywhere has been colonized by England. Like, think about the massive implications of a power dynamic that big. Their reality and what was existing, it just, bro, like it hurts my soul sometimes to think about what happened.
Even in today, like, we got chainsaws, flamethrowers, we have everything. We got bulldozers. I still would not want to step foot into a Brazilian jungle, like, for anything. I mean, I guess if, you know, a loved one's life is on the line, but I know I'm not coming out alive.
Like Jurassic Park, going to the island, you're getting eaten by the jaguar.
Look, bro, I ain't like, you know, my ankles hurt, my knees hurt. Like, I'm getting old, bro. Like, I can run, but not for very long. You know, so we're going to need some type of wheels. I don't know, like a scooter. Give me a hover around, some shit.
Oh, shit. Take a Land Rover.
A hover around with the Hayabusa on it.
Holy shit. Oh, my God. Yeah, wow. We're going into this, like, we're going, like, full on, we've gone conspiracy bros a bit here.
Dude, speaking of which, this has nothing to do with conspiracies, but going off on a different tangent. You have Final Destination. Have you ever, like, watched those movies or big into
not
it?
Not really into them. Dude, I'm like the weirdest person about movies sometimes. It's like, you better not let me down.
That's how I felt about this one going into it. And
but like, I know the concept of Final Destination, yes.
So the newest one, watched it, and I swear to gosh, the best part of the whole movie is in the first 30 minutes.
Okay.
Like, it really, like, I was like in there, I was sweating, I was like, what the fuck is going on? You know, but after that, it's kind of slow. But dude, there was some gruesome things in there. And usually, like, dude, I'm so desensitized when it comes to movies because I've like seen them all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But there was a couple scenes in here where I was like full on Joe Rogan at a UFC event. Like, yeah, like, dude, it was pretty. It was a good time. But it was even. It was scarier than that though. And I wouldn't say that the movie was scary. My my uncle, godfather, dad's best friend, something like that. My brother's godfather. He came down and took me in a ride in his new Mustang that he got. It was a dark horse Mustang.
Yeah.
And it had like a Whipple Charger on it or
How
something.
old are you?
32.
Okay.
Just turned 32. This man is like 60, 62, something like 61. And he wouldn't shut up. He still won't shut up about this car. He's had the car for like 3-4 months. And that's all he talks about. So he came down for my birthday and he was like, I want to take you a ride in this thing. And bro, I felt like I was on a roller coaster times 10, but that's probably because I'm in like a fucking little box.
Oh my God.
With the 800 horsepower engine in it. Like, dude, I've been in a lot of fast cars. This scared me. And I don't know if it was because he was driving, because if I was driving, I probably would have had the time of my life.
Oh yeah, so don't get in the fast car with your uncle no more.
No, I'd do it again. That shit was tight.
That's freaking hilarious. Oh my God.
But it made me think of Final Destination. Like, we're going, and I'm just like, there's like a fucking semi truck over here, and I'm like, oh my God, this is it. What it did was it got me in there, and I was like, damn, they're good, bro. They got in my head. Now I can't stop thinking about it.
But yeah, okay, I'm gonna put the mushroom hat back on. It's like that's what movies do. That's like movies are so, as an art form, are so cool about how they can get into your head like that. But also it's like it's a technology that can be used to manipulate you too. And ooh. You gotta learn. You gotta get discernment over that.
You got a good story about like taking some mushrooms and watching a movie and like.
If I'm being honest, it's like I have so much to learn in this space, and like I think of myself as like I said, right now, MYCOPOP is a gateway to a world of mushrooms that is everybody's own journey. Like I just know my own story. And I know what the research says. And I'm just pointing. It's like I'm pointing to the medicine. And this is some of it. And I know about this. And I also know about these things. But I can't tell you about these things. You got to learn about it for yourself.
No, I think you misunderstand me. Like a story of like you took.
Yeah, no. But I say that because I don't take a lot of mushrooms a lot. Literally the one time I talked about, as I was telling you earlier, is like that one time I took a gram, and like that was the most I've ever taken. But I guess the other story I have is I miss my buddy Corey because I'm thinking about it. I should probably text him after this. No, it was when I was living in Bozeman, Montana.
Holy, I'm sorry for you.
It was actually really cool, man. It was cold as shit in the winter, and your boy got seasonal depression real bad and didn't know what that was because, he grew up in Florida and it's sunny every day. Yeah, and then it's like, oh man, I'm still, even now living in Nashville when it's sunny out, it's like I gotta get vitamin D. Like I grew up 18 years in the sun.
Constantly.
Yeah, and then in the summer from when I was 8 until I was 18, I was working on a cattle ranch in Montana anyway. That's where my aunt lives. She runs a regenerative USDA certified or whatever, She runs a regenerative agriculture Angus farm, like certified black Angus farm. Yeah. From when I was 8 until I was 18, pretty much, I would go to work.
She still run it?
Yeah.
What's the name of the
It's
company?
called West Pass Ranch. Yeah.
Right, if I ever come by it.
Oh, I don't know if you'd ever see her beef specifically, but I've tried to get some of her beef for some things, but it's like challenging because of the way the beef industry is. That's a whole other thing. Don't even get me started on the beef.
Nope. We will be here for a week.
Yeah, that's not what we're here to talk about. But yeah, so like,
okay. Speaking of beef,
but wait, so you were talking. What'd you ask me? Fun mushroom story was Bozeman with my buddy Corey. We were in a band, and we split an eighth, which would be a little bit more than a gram each.
Yeah.
Yeah, like 1.25, 1.5, whatever. It was my
1.75.
Yeah, whatever. It was nice. I didn't see full on trips, but like, I became the couch.
You're laughing.
Yeah,
you're having a good time.
I became the couch. It was fun. But I wasn't like losing my brain hole. And then our singer in our band, he came in and was like, ooh, with these like little like lighty bops on his hand. I'm like, Mike, get on my face.
Can you get out of it?
Can you go away? Corey's over here playing D, like over and over again.
Just
with all
the
this
D string or the D chord?
No, he's just like picking it. It's like Corey's over here playing the D chord, and with a lot of delay and reverb on it. Go away. And no, we just sat there. It was actually really cool because Corey actually is a cancer survivor, and
shout out to him.
Yeah, and had like literally, right when I met him, he had just like had his last chemo treatment.
Okay.
It was in the middle of winter in like 2007. Yeah, winter of 2007. And yeah, we were in a band and it was cool. And like we sat and he told me about it, and we just it was a nice connecting with another person. But man, dude, I just to like know him, and we played music together for a season, and it was super fun. And but yeah, I remember he went home, and then I remember just like sitting there in my bed, and I was just like, oh, okay. And it was just like quiet, and I just like I wasn't tired. I wouldn't fall asleep. The first time he ever took, because I don't know, first time I'd ever taken mushrooms, and I was like, oh, it makes you not tired.
Oh yeah.
And I like literally was awake from like the previous day. I didn't go to sleep, and I was awake until like noon the next day, and I went to sleep. But I woke up, like I got up when the sun came up. I went and jumped our back fence and went to Perkins. You know Perkins? You ever been to a Perkins?
Is it a coffee place?
It's no, it's like a restaurant. It's kind of like a diner, bakery vibe.
Okay.
It's like a Midwest joint. Like you can go and get muffins and every kind of cake and cookie or shit, but you can also get like a Denver omelet or a grilled burrito, or it's like Denny's but like a little not as cheesy.
We ain't even got Denny's out here, bro.
Yeah, not no more.
No.
We got Waffle House, and Waffle House, dude. Waffle House slaps.
You ever had Huddle House?
Huddle House? No, the name makes me uncomfortable.
I duly noted.
Yeah, but no, I'm sure it's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, Waffle House is good in a pinch, and Cracker Barrel is good in a pinch.
Yeah.
Top chef picks in a pinch. Those are the places because they're nice enough, and bathrooms. Definitely Cracker Barrel, and you can get mashed potatoes.
I like
and you can get chicken.
In some places, not so much Nashville. Not the best choice out here, but like in Colorado and Denver, I went to a couple out there because everything's Tex-Mex or pho, which the pho out there is amazing. You can get sushi, you can get great, more ethnic food, but everything else there is either like it's kind of bland because I don't know if it's like the mile high factor, with the high altitude, or like just the way they season food out there. And I'm not a big Tex-Mex type of guy, and that's pretty much everything out there.
Yeah, it's a lot of it's like New Mexico vibes.
Yeah.
I've had some good food in Denver. There's some cool places. We went to this place called Molotov last summer. It's like Russian food. It was so delicious. Did you get some borscht? Got borscht. We had elk tartare.
Elk is good. It's just very lean.
Really good. But it had like, they put like beef tallow in it. Yeah, and whipped it up real nice with like the egg. It was really rich. Delicious. Then we had this like super salty preserve-ish trout dish with this super salty sauce. It was like, and I say this like it was so good. I was like, I love how much salt is in this. And it was really good. Yeah, I know it was delicious. That was fun. I'm trying to think what else we ate when we were there. Um, but I like Denver. Denver's cool. I would never want to go there in the winter.
Been there in the winter.
How was that?
So this is a great story. So, I went out there a few years ago. Let's see, it was probably like 21 or 22.
Yeah.
Actually, it would have been 21 because my dad passed in 22. So it was the year before. So, at this point, we had just came out of, um, the lockdown,
Yeah.
and over this 9 month period, you probably remember, I was like, probably weighed like 465 pounds, and I lost a whole bunch of weight from exercise and dieting, um, not working in kitchens, which is a big one.
Yeah.
But in that 9 month period, I ended up getting down to like 265, which to this day is like the lightest I've ever been as an adult. Always been a big dude. But I go with, she was my neighbor at the time, but a good friend of mine. I go with her and her husband and her child and her husband's cousin and best friend out to Breckenridge.
Yeah.
They all flew out there, but me and her husband drove out there, which is a wicked drive.
From here?
Yes, which I've done that
Damn.
drive a lot of times.
I flew both times.
It's about 17 hours.
Yeah, we drove overnight from where were we? Minneapolis. All the way to Denver.
How many was that? 8 hours? 7 hours?
It was like 13.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
Okay.
they busted that shit straight through overnight. They were bosses, Will and Tomas. But you guys drove there from here. How many hours is that?
About 17.
Shit.
And we left like early. No, we left at
what
like.
What were you rolling in?
He has like this Ram turbo diesel.
Oh yeah, like a big ass truck. Yeah, they're great.
So it was cool. We're chilling. We're smoking the whole way, windows down, not giving a fuck. But it's like dead night.
Yeah.
I think we left at like 8 o'clock
PM.
Yeah. So we ended up getting there at like, my math's probably wrong on this, but like 1 o'clock, noon. Somewhere around there.
Yeah, that's
drove
right.
all through.
You
the
get
night.
there that you leave in the evening and you get there like in the afternoon. Yeah. That's right.
So we get there. We're waiting for their plane, which comes the next day. And then we're going to Breckenridge. So we got an Airbnb.
So you drove to Denver from here?
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna look this up.
Yeah,
we have the technology. How far is it to fucking Denver?
It's 17 hours, but it's something like 1,100 miles, I believe. I could be wrong on that, but
let's see. Keep going with your story, bro.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of all the facts. So we come in, and if you know anything about coming into Denver, you take
it's flat as fuck.
If you're taking I-70, it's like you go through Kansas, and Kansas is like the worst state to drive through.
Yes.
Because there's nothing. Even when you get off of the interstate at like the exits, there's like a couple stores. You'll be lucky if there's a place you can take a piss at and a gas station. So you get out of there and you're like, oh, I'm in Colorado. Like, yeah, we're almost there. But then it's another 2 hours to Denver, right? Yeah. And it's nothing, just completely nothing. And then you hit like Aurora. Or then you
see the mountains, yeah.
You actually come down 70 and you start passing the airport, and then you come into Aurora. Which, if you've ever been through the Denver airport, shit's crazy.
Yes, I picked up mushrooms at the Denver airport, and there's that big ass freaking devil horse.
Yeah, and then it looks like a giant evil circus tent. But so, of course, we got this truck that's all-wheel drive. Or it's 4x4.
What? This was February, you said?
Yeah, and it's a dually. No, it was it was like December.
December, yes, winter hurt.
So there was actually probably like a couple inches on the ground when we got there, and it snowed. Mm-hmm. The night we got there. So me and him literally the whole day we checked into the Airbnb early. Sitting there, we're like, okay, what are we gonna do? Because we're not picking up everybody until the next morning.
Yeah.
So we literally just drove around every inch of Denver, went to like 7 different dispensaries, just like, because we had nothing to do all day. So it's like, what are we going to do? We're going to get lit, drive around, and eat food. So we went to like, I don't know, went to some steakhouse out there. I don't
Eating
remember
for
the name of
tourism.
it.
Yeah, dude, that's great.
Yeah, you know, and we also went to the Rocky Mountain Arsenal. I believe that's it out there, but it's a big wildlife refuge that I think it's like
Oh, cool.
like 40, I'm probably wrong about this, but like 20 to 40 miles, you know, gridlock that is literally like you can drive around it. There's like an observation road that
Uh-huh.
you can go on, and it's like, I think it
Looking
probably,
at like wild animals and stuff.
yeah, they got like bison. I've seen, you know, wolves and coyotes and bighorn sheep, a bunch of prairie dogs. But that's everywhere, dude. You're out
Yeah.
there, boop boop. But so
They're like squirrels.
we end up going in, you know, going in there, and we're like smoking the whole time. We see this coyote pick up this groundhog, or prairie dog, I'm sorry, out of the hole, and then he's like trotting back. So that was like really cool. We saw this eagle come down and fucking grab one, like
Just
wild, dude.
yeah, prairie dog genocide.
Yeah, which, dude, they like out in Denver, they pretty much encourage it because they're just everywhere.
Yeah, they
They're
are
like,
really. I mean, to be perfectly honest, we had to like. I mean, how I learned to shoot was shooting prairie dogs.
Yeah, there
at my
you go.
aunt's spot. Like, it's rodent control because like they get in and they destroy the grazing pasture.
and you can't grow shit because
Yeah.
they just eat through the roots.
Yeah, it's a problem.
But so we end up going into Breckenridge, right? And it was perfect timing because we pick them up early morning. Um, like, to paint the picture, this big 4x4 truck, dually truck, you have 4 grown men, like big grown men, little old, like, I'm not gonna say old because she's not old, but she probably weighs like 100 pounds soaking wet, and then a 7-year-old kid, right? And we still got enough space in this big old truck to like stretch out. But we start driving in to Breckenridge, and there's already snow on the ground, but it starts snowing again, right? And we came in perfect time. But of course, this truck is having no problem. This Ram is getting through everything. We get to Breckenridge, it snows 8 inches.
Shit.
Right? I've never been skiing before in my life before this point. So we get there, you know, of course we went to the dispensaries, got all our shit. First night we didn't go skiing. We just sat at the cabin, you know, did our thing that adults do. And then the next morning we get dressed to, you know, we already got our skis and everything. I never put skis on my entire life. I don't know if you have, but like,
I always snowboarded. Skiing weirded me out.
okay. See,
French fry pizza.
I ain't
not
got
for
the
me.
knees for skateboarding, you know? And
That's
they
fair.
told me that skiing was easier to learn, harder to master.
I guess. Yeah, that's fair.
And snowboarding's harder to learn but easy to master.
I mean, it
Easier.
depends on your background, I guess. I found snowboarding easier than skiing, but just because I skateboarded a lot and surfed
I don't know.
growing up.
I may try snowboarding, but I'm never doing skiing again. Because one,
Yeah.
they don't tell you that these skis weigh like, you know, it's like 20 pounds each
Yeah.
between the boots and the skis. It's probably more than that.
Yeah.
And the ski's fucking long. So it feels even heavier, you know, because of the way that it's like dispersed out. So I put these things on. I learned how to walk in them, right? I'm 265 pounds, right? And I feel good because at this point I'm running like 4 or 5 miles a day, but not in altitude.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm like,
Dude,
oh,
altitude will get you, man.
This is going to be good. Like, I'm good. I'm cool. Like, it's a learning curve, but I'll get it. Right? So we strap in. There's like a chair lift right next to our cabin. So we just get out, walk in there, put on our skis. You know, I got my little poles. I'm fucking boogieing, right? I almost fall out the chairlift.
No
like
shit.
getting in it, right? which is good I didn't, because if you do, they have to like stop the whole thing and like back
Yes.
it up and like, so it's a thing. So I get on there and like, dude, I had put like joints in my jacket pocket and like, thinking like it would be cool. Like, I'm out there, I'm on the slope. Let me just spark one up, right? Being a dumbass. so,
Oh no.
so we get on the chairlift, we get up to the top, right? And then, when you get off the lift, you gotta like kind of like hop off, So, I'm like trying to hop off, but I've never done it before, and my ski like kind of
No.
gets stuck. So I fall getting out of the chairlift. They gotta stop the chairlift. I
No.
finally get up and like takes me like probably 10 minutes to like get my like because when you come up to the top of the slope, there's this like kind of like flat area before
Yeah.
you head down, and it's like a bunny slope. It's nothing and this particular bunny slope is really like cool because of the way that it goes down, and like you can
Yeah,
really pick up
it's an
speed and
easy rating, but it's a cool trail.
yeah. So I get going, right? And like it's funny in my mind because I just remember like, oh shit. And I'm like going off one ways because I'm like learning how to steer, and like the guys are like, here, let me show you. And I'm like, no, I got it. I gotta go on ahead. Right. So I get this
Mistake.
bunny trail down, but I ended up like hitting 2 or 3 trees, like falling and having to get up, but I was having a great time. Then we get to the blues, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, you got the bunny," because I probably spent like 2 hours doing the bunny slope, probably like 4 or 5 passes. It was fucking dope. They're like, "Okay, this is the next level one, but it's not hard. You'll be fine." Dude, I did like 4 front flips over myself and like dude, and like I ended up hitting this tree like upside down, right? Like trees.
Oh no.
Oh no.
That one. Oh shit. That one stopped recording too.
Oh, that's how intense it is.
That's how intense it is. That's okay.
Probably did.
I think it said storage full.
Oh, yeah, that'll happen.
We can edit this out.
Yeah, we can.
So yeah, you wiped out on the bunny slope.
There's a tree behind me, dude, and I'm just like feet in the air, like I'm fuck. So I get up, I try to get on my skis, I get like vertigo.
No.
Right? Like I'm spinning, like feel like I'm gonna be sick. I got these heavy ass boots on. So I end up like I didn't even remember where I was at. Right? Like that's how bad it was. Cause I literally like I fucking ate shit right there. And like, dude, when you're tumbling while you're falling, like it's like slow-mo and your whole life just flashes. You just do, and you're like, oh, how could I have gotten out of this? Like,
You just had a hella yard sale.
Yeah. So I get down to the bottom of this hill, and I literally had to walk down it and take my time because one, I had vertigo. Like there was a portion I was just sliding on my ass, like down it, holding my skis because I wasn't putting these skis back on because I was just like exhausted. So I end up getting down, and there's like, Breckenridge is like, mad commercial.
Yeah.
So you come down, and there's like, it's like this whole courtyard where the snow comes up, but you can get a pretzel, or you can get a beer, or you can get a hot chocolate, lemonade. You got all these kids, they're like having a great time running around, and like the whole time I'm like, fuck all you. Like, fuck you, because I'm like, how can you do this? But I don't realize that like I'm fighting altitude sickness.
Yeah, you're like deoxygenated.
And and so I end up like I don't take my boots off because I can't carry my boots and my skis. And if you ever tried to walk in skiing boots, like, it's
they're flat and rigid.
It's not a fun time. So I end up catching this. They got like this trolley. Or not this, like this little bus that takes you and drops you off. Dropped me down a hill. So I had to walk up a hill. So by the time I get there, I'm like done. This is day 2 of the trip, and it was like a 4-day trip. Next 2 days, didn't ski at all. I was like, no, fuck that. Like, I'm not doing it. Not doing it. Last day, I ended up going skiing, and I went down the bunny slope twice. You're dismissed, Siri.
It's fine, Siri.
She's always messing stuff up. It's okay. We'll talk to you later. But yeah, so that's my story on skiing. It was super fun. Anybody or everybody should go skiing or snowboarding once in their life. Beautiful. You know, like when it's snowing and you're going down that slope and you're like going 20 miles an hour and you're like, I might die, but this was worth it.
I'm trying to think the last time I went snowboarding. I think the last time I went snowboarding was not fun. I mean, it was fun, but I basically just went by myself. And it was when I was living in Bozeman, and it was when I was living in Bozeman, and yeah, but some people were supposed to meet me and they didn't meet me, so I just went up snowboarding all day by myself. But it was this cool place called Bridger Bowl, and it was fun. It was just like cool cruising slopes and the trees and stuff. It was nice. That season was cool. It's beautiful there, but like
This is in Bozeman.
this is in Bozeman. Yeah, it's cool. Bozeman's so different now. I haven't been back since I left, but it's cool. It's I liked skiing and snowboarding, but I also like the sun.
Yeah. I heard everybody, everybody I know that has been to Montana, they're like, it's beautiful. It's beautiful, but like there's nothing there. Like if you go out to Montana, like
It's the smallest population density, I think, in the country.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, be prepared to be like, you know,
Far.
like if you go out on a walking trail out somewhere in Montana, like the chances are that you're alone for the next 5-10 miles.
Yeah, depending on where you go and what park, and because some are like super hyper concentrated, but like yeah, no, there are places that you can go where it's like you're the only person for like 50 square miles, you know, maybe 100 miles.
Yeah.
And that's pretty crazy. I haven't been to Montana since I've been an adult, but definitely played a role in like me, like I said, appreciating nature. Like me appreciating nature came from my experiencing it. And I'm gonna tie back into that experience thing. It's wild how like your experience with Breckenridge involved altitude sickness, and so did mine. Sarah Beth and I were there, and we had been staying in Alma, which is the highest incorporated town in the entire nation. And we were just like suffering from altitude sickness. Like we were just not having a good time. But we did hike a 13,000 foot ridge, which was fun. But we left the place a day early because there was a mouse. I couldn't get a fire started because the wood was not quite cured enough, and
That's
there was
the worst.
so little oxygen. And we went down to Breckenridge and got an oxygen treatment. Went to an oxygen bar and like just breathed oxygen. like you know, just like your grandma with COPD would have. Yeah, exact same thing.
I went out with a roommate of mine one time. We went out to Denver. It was my birthday, and he bought like 3 or 4 cans of the portable oxygen.
Yeah,
you know, because he has breathing problems.
You can buy
And
those.
we were going on a hike, and I like couldn't breathe, and he was like, "Hit this shit." I hit it real quick, bro. I was like, "Oh my gosh, where has this been my whole life?"
Yeah.
But then,
Yeah.
like as we got down the hike,
Yeah.
like you know, I kind of like felt it was like, oh, you know.
Yeah. Well, the thing that you can, here's the cordyceps. Cordyceps is good for your freaking blood oxygenation, man. Also,
Okay.
when we were, we were drinking MYCOPOPs and taking cordyceps gummies when we were on that 13,000 foot ridge. But yo, this is another funny story. On that hike, I saw this little green wrapper off the trail, and I was like, "Come here, trash! I'm gonna take you away." And I looked at it, and it was this little, like, you know, like little mints from a restaurant. And,
Yeah.
But it was like, imagine that, but green. And it had a little bear on the front, I think, and it was on the with like a blue circle and a mountain, and on the back it was like basically said it was a cocaine mint.
What?
From Peru.
Well, cocaine is water soluble.
Yeah.
So
They basically made a little like cocaine candy that you
That's
could
crazy.
take for altitude sickness, which is a traditional remedy for like you drink.
because that opens up your
Yeah, like cocaine is like the refined version of it, but like you can just like, it's not even like fully on refined cocaine. You can just grind up and make a solution of the leaves, and it aids you. You know, like just chewing on the leaves of the coca plant is good for blood oxygenation. It opens your capillaries, it gets your veins open, it helps open, wakes you up. I mean, that's what cocaine does to you, right? But it can be abused, and it on one side, but it's also like a native medicine, and like an ancient medicine in ways. So it was like, it made sense. I'm like, this is wild. Like, nature has something that can solve practical, like, life things in our reality, and people have, like, you know, taken it and turned it into something that's, a commodity and like a drug or whatever you want to call it. It's moved so far away from its intention as medicine,
Yeah.
you know, and I hope that doesn't happen to mushrooms.
I used to not like mushrooms at all, like growing up.
Yeah, like
And
eating mushrooms.
yeah,
Yeah,
but you only get like button mushroom, like being a kid,
yeah,
and
that are
whenever
not cooked well or
you know what I'm
slimy.
saying, and
Yeah.
it's like we're on a salad, and you're like, oh, I don't want to.
Yo,
We're on a pizza.
the raw mushrooms on the salad bar is so bad to eat.
Yeah,
It's not good for you. There's chitin in it. Chitin is not digestible. That I didn't when I learned, that was one of those like, but continue, please.
yeah, and then even like even to this day, like I have to like well season any mushroom that
Yeah.
like I'm eating myself, because like some people love the taste of mushroom,
I
and
really
like
like mushrooms.
not that I like when blended well with other ingredients, like yes it has it, but like I've never to like taken a bite of just mushroom without any seasoning on it and been like,
Oh, you can't do that.
yeah,
You
no,
gotta cook it with butter and salt,
yeah, butter
or
and
like beef fat, bro.
which
I love beef fat, the fungi and vegetables, bro.
so that's one thing we switched over all our fryer oil to beef tallow.
At the country club, that's lit.
Yeah, I helped broker that deal, so I'm proud of my
That's
involvement in that.
that's pretty sick. Who do you get the tallow from?
So I've been using Performance Food Groups.
Yeah, they just
Um,
have like a deodorized beef tallow.
yeah, so
That's lit.
this was a crazy story. We're getting beef tallow, and it was it looked like lard,
Yeah,
in that state
yeah, it's just
of
a big
like,
white block.
looks like Crisco, right? So we were buying that, and overnight the price shot up almost 50%.
Yeah, it's becoming more trendy.
Yeah. So reach out
Smart.
to the my supplier, and they're like, let me reach out to our supplier, who is the maker of
Yeah,
it. And they send some like educational info packet of
yeah,
like why beef prices may be higher, and it's like, okay, but that's not giving me like, something doesn't jump 50% in price overnight without like an explanation, like, oh, all my cows died,
yeah,
like I ran out of supply. So like it just makes sense. There has to be a certain explanation. It's not just like overnight that
yeah.
you jump price like that. So I found a pourable beef tallow that's like, it was already cheaper than 1 unit of the non-pourable.
Yeah.
And I mean, it kind of breaks down to being like a little more expensive because you're getting less in the pourable unit.
Yeah.
Pourable
It's
unit,
just like
it's
a jug.
35
Yeah.
jib, 35-pound jib. The other one was a 50-pound box.
Hmm.
But
How do they stabilize it in liquid?
um, I'm not sure. There's actually,
Should find that out.
I do know. Well, I don't know the name of the thing off the top of my head, but there's two ingredients that they have listed on there. Um,
Google this.
they both start with P's, and
Okay.
type of sodium in it, I believe. Sodium in the word.
Yeah. for cooking. We'll ask ChatGPT. I've developed an interesting relationship with the AI assistant.
Yeah,
He's so
my
very
girl
helpful.
uses it a lot, and I haven't yet, but
It's a very
I'm gonna start.
powerful. It's a very powerful tool.
I've been using AI for like it's hard. I finally got locked in with another graphic artist, which has been giving me some good stuff. But for a while there, it was really
always.
touch and go,
Yeah,
and I was having to utilize AI.
yeah, in a pinch for stuff that's like necessary to be short time turnaround. Yeah, but like I think if you're putting out like a thing like something like this, something like a
It's better to
record,
be organic.
yeah, pay a human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about, it's not about like chasing the dollar always. So, it's also good to like pay people to, do things.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah, you got to contribute
well,
into like
help
your
making that
local.
industry.
You got to contribute to your regional economy and your
Yep.
system. Let's see what I don't need to render. I don't know. It's not understanding. I'm gonna say it's like, no. I am asking you this question: how would a company that sells beef tallow for fryers stabilize it into liquid so it's pourable? There's some sort of preservative or ingredient that goes into this? Question mark. This is also one of my other obsessions.
Does it have a speech option where it gives you?
Oh, I mean, it could talk to us.
Because that would be like to talk to the internet.
Oh,
right
here,
now.
let's do that. Hey. Okay. Hey, buddy, can you give me the explanation about how to stabilize beef tallow? Like how would they industrially be doing this? What are they adding to the beef tallow to make it stable and preserved at room temperature?
Sure thing. Industrially, to keep beef tallow stable and pourable at room temperature, companies typically use a combination of methods and additives. They often blend tallow with high
That's
oleic
lit.
vegetable oils to lower the melting point.
At,
They may also use emulsifiers like mono and diglycerides to keep the mixture stable and pourable. Additionally, they add antioxidants like tocopherols, vitamin E, or citric acid to prevent oxidation and keep the tallow fresh longer.
mhm.
These steps help maintain a stable liquid form that's easy to use in fryers at room temperature.
I want to say it was like mono.
Top tip, and I'm sure you know, always know your
high-
ingredients.
Yeah.
But also, like,
I mean,
that's the
dude,
thing
it's
about
better
it.
than whatever is
Yeah.
in there. I guarantee you is better than frying in canola blend. Like,
Depending on the source of the canola oil. True. And the ingredients also, like, the frying in beef tallow sure as shit tastes nice. But I always counsel, I'm that dude. I'm also that guy who, like, I read every ingredient. And I mean, here's a true story. Like, we parted ways with our former co-packer on this because of like transparency things. Like, I was digging about ingredients and it's fine. There's nothing wrong and there's nothing not food safe. But like in the digging, like certain things came out about, you know, what certifications and certain claims and certain advice they'd given us and how willingly they were being that it was like the questions that I wanted answers to took way too long to get the answers to, of like, how do you, why is it this color, what does this mean, where does this ingredient come from, I got them all, and it's all fine, like but I always push on those things because it's important, because what you put in your body matters. And like, I love beef tallow though. Check into that shit. That's freaking also.
Tomorrow I'm gonna pull up. It'll be 7 a.m. You'll get a text and it'll be the ingredients. But I'm pretty sure it's a form of the citric acid, because I'm pretty sure my mind is.
Yeah, always verify. But also that's another. You know what it might wind up doing? I mean, I'm sure that's like a preference of the membership. In that situation.
Well, yeah. So you in that seed oils.
Yeah, and in that is completely understandable because of the clientele, and it makes sense. So from a like you doing your job, fuck yeah, dude, that's badass. Good job. Like you found the right fucking price.
Well,
but the other side of that is like I always try to stress and impart to people, like, read those labels, bro. I'm that ingredient label guy, and
Oh, dude, it's
And
crazy.
it
Looking
goes
at being a purchaser and seeing
Yeah.
like
it's hard in scaled food systems because of what's available to you at the
So
price, and you
crazy.
have to play the numbers game, and sometimes that means the quality of the certain food ingredients is sacrificed.
Like, dude,
Yeah.
I was looking into like restaurant quality, um unbleached, unbrolomated like flour. That's basically like artisan heirloom flour. You can't find it on a scale to do anything like commercial wise unless you.
You can get like Caputo and stuff, but like it's expensive. Yeah, it's just expensive.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. Like,
No, to do it you're not going to get it at Cisco prices. You're not going to get it at PFG prices. You're going to get it probably twice that minimum. Because
or if you can even like so much stuff is on back order.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, shipping itself is crazy, even in the culinary industry.
I think it's good to I think there's a couple of observations from that too, where it's like, why is that? Why are these high quality ingredients harder to get? Because they're in demand more, which I guess is a good indication, because it's like people are caring more about what they're putting in their body across the board, and that I think is the trend. So that's cool and that's good. But the other side of the things is it's like, man, there's all of this other stuff that's like not as good for us. It costs way less, and that's a way harder beast to beat. Because you gotta play the number, dude. You have to do the job.
Yeah.
And that's like
not even that. You got to pay the bills at the end of the day, and it's like, I got $30 to last me until next week. Am I gonna buy this, like, this milk that has no added preservatives, or
am I gonna buy the $2 milk?
growth hormone that is like $12.50 for a fucking half gallon, or am I gonna get this half gallon of wholesome farm DG milk for $2.95?
Yeah, am I gonna get this Walmart milk, or am I gonna get this like this cow was named Betty milk? Yeah, dude,
But even that, like, bro, you go to these communities where they're literally like, they're living off the land. They'll give it to you. They'll be like, here.
But you have to. There's ways to be respectful about it. True, and there's ways to, you have to be. There are ways to do it, but at scale, it never will feed. It is hard to feed everyone, because like that's why our system has gotten to the way that it is. There's a lot of us, and trying to do it non-regionally and non-locally has become unsustainable, because everybody has a demand of wanting so many things that don't make sense in a regional scale anymore, and
that's
thus we have globalism and all of this other things. But it's a wild reality.
Well, and then think about like 1940s, or I don't know, when was pasteurization? I think that came.
Here, we can have the AI fact check us.
Yeah.
When was pasteurization invented by Louis Pasteur?
Pasteurization is a process that was indeed invented by Louis Pasteur in the 19th century. He developed it to slow microbial growth in beverages like wine and milk for a set period of time, and then cooling them quickly. This process helps kill harmful bacteria and pathogens.
Right, but hey, what year was it in?
Louis Pasteur developed the pasteurization process in the 1860s.
1860s. Okay.
And he continued refining it over the next few years. By the mid-1860s, pasteurization was gaining recognition and began to be adopted more widely.
Okay. So
yeah, it's like beer and the industrialization of alcohol and jams and preserves that go back to, that's the 1860s. That makes sense. You think that's Civil War era. Well, those traditions of the Low Country go back to that.
And what I was about to bring up was like, circa all that, like, there wasn't a milkman or anything, because, the milk, when it was produced, like, it had to be consumed rather quickly.
Yeah.
Or it's spoiled, so you can't transport it.
Yeah.
And that's
pasteurization made that possible.
Exactly. Do you remember seeing the milkman when you were a kid?
We never had a milkman.
I remember
I remember my grandfather telling me stories about when he was a kid going to help the milkman deliver the milk so he could get a liter of milk because he couldn't afford a liter of milk when he was in high school. Yeah.
So I
But no, we
remember,
never have a milkman on the island. I mean, it was just, there was a grocery store on the island, but it was just whatever milk.
not big enough for
No, you had a milkman growing up?
So I was very young. So like, you know, I was born 93, so this was like late 90s, probably like 96. But I remember like, and this only I only remember seeing this a few times cuz like we didn't really I think it was like a service. It was on its way out.
Yeah.
And they would like come and drop you off milk, and you know, being young,
it was in a rural community too, right?
no, it was Nashville.
It was just in
Antioch.
Nashville? Oh shit.
Um
Well, Antioch was a lot more.
Castlegate.
I mean, Antioch was a lot more rural than it is now in '90s.
I mean, so
Not rural, but I mean
it was right off of Priest Lake. So
Yeah.
right off of Smith Springs Road.
Yeah,
So like
yeah.
wasn't I mean, it's pretty much the
That's
same
wild.
as
No
now.
way, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah. But I remember because we put the little it was like a little crate
Great, yeah.
that you can put out, and then I remember because I was like, Mom, I want some chocolate milk, being like 3 years old. So
Yeah.
she like left a note in the little thing like, hey, can you bring us a thing of
Chocolate milk.
chocolate milk? And I remember opening up the door and seeing the little basket
Yeah.
of like each of them, and I'm like, oh shit. But then I think they like did away with it, like,
Well,
you
yeah,
know,
I'm sure it
fairly
became,
soon after, because it's like,
it wasn't sustainable anymore. But I'm sure the business has been around for a while.
I mean, dude, let's put it this way. How long have you been in Nashville?
15 years.
You remember, like, you used to see Purity.
Yeah, Purity's still
Items.
here.
Yeah, they're still here, but like you used to be able to find Purity ice cream, sandwiches. You know,
They
like
have all them,
everything.
but they're not in. They're in very specific places.
And it's crazy because it used to be like that's all you could find, like ice cream wise. You could find 30 different flavors from
Oh, wow.
Purity, because you know
Because they're there on freaking Murfreesboro Road.
Yeah, yeah.
Or
But
I guess it's still
now-
Lafayette.
Now there's like you have like the core group of ice creams, or like, you know, you have
Yeah,
Purity
there's so
milk.
many. There's so many more ice creams now.
Yeah. So they like you can
The
find like
market
4 or
competition has
5
grown.
items. But any ice cream sandwich that I've had this day does not compare.
To the Purity ice cream
And
sandwich.
I can't find it anywhere.
Oh shit.
So if you see it, lock me in. Be like, hey, it's here.
The Purity
that's my,
ice cream sandwich.
It's my inner kid talking.
That's hilarious.
Well, man, I think we need to wrap this one up.
Yeah, bro.
It's been a great conversation.
Yeah, very interesting.
We need to do it again. We need to have a part 2.
Yeah.
I want to thank our viewers for tuning in. Once again, this is our special guest, Mr. Alan, the Fun Guy Davies. Go ahead and check out MYCOPOP at MYCOPOP.com. And as always, go check us out at tothetopent.com. Got a lot of more content coming to you soon. Y'all take it easy. Till next time.
See you.